will be releasing the last major update soon.
Well that just happened. Yeah, so if you didn't know, Nintendo just announced the next and final Mario Maker 2 update, and holy heck, there's a ton of new stuff, from new power-ups, items, enemies, bosses, and even a world maker. Not including the new modes, there's about 23 new items in the 3.0.0 update. This is absolutely huge compared to the first one, so today I'll be quickly going over all of my thoughts on all of the new things in this update, and how I think they might be able to be used once they finally drop. Tomorrow. Yeah, sorry if this video is a slight bit sloppily edited and a slight bit sloppy just in general. That's just because I literally have less than 24 hours to make this, and I want to make sure my thoughts are short, so sorry if the points are a little bit shorter, but yeah, just keep in mind, I don't have much time to make this video. If you do enjoy this video though, please make sure to leave a like and maybe even subscribe to the channel, as that would help me out a ton. But with that being said, let's just jump right into my thoughts on all of the new items and features in the 3.0.0 update for Super Mario Maker 2. Starting off with our first new power-up, yeah, I said first because we've got 5 power-ups in this update, that's amazing, but we've got the Super Mario Bros. 2 mushroom. Now I do want to say that the new power-ups are always the most exciting additions for me personally, as they're super easy to make in good levels, and they're really great additions, they just scale with everything else very well. This power-up is absolutely no exception. Like the Super Ball Flower, this references a Mario game that just couldn't make the cut to be a theme. However, the way this works is so incredible that I think it might have even been better than the Master Sword. With this power-up, you'll be able to pick up enemies and throw them around, which we see later on in the trailer has many uses like collecting coins or using a shell to break things. You'll be able to pick up things you normally can't as well, like Goombas, Chain Chomps, and big shells. This also lets you ride on top of enemies since you can't jump on them, which, as we see with the Bullet Bill and Bonsai Bill later in the trailer, can have several applications. Speaking of which, this item will also allow Mario to break clouds by lifting them up. This power-up has so many possibilities in any level type. I can see so many puzzle levels using this, or maybe even a level where you have to say walk your dog, in this case a Chain Chomp, in order to clear a path. Maybe there could be some cool speedrunning and Kaizo tech with the writing of bullet bills, like maybe you have to throw them at just the right time and then hop on them just in the right time as well. Of course, this will also work great in giving your traditional levels a unique feel as well. A few questions I do have about this power-up though. Are the players able to super jump? Does it play a song from Super Mario Bros. 2? Do the things you're able to pick up count as a clear condition now, so can we have a clear condition where we have to bring a Chain Chomp to the goal? And of course, how many things can actually be ridden and picked up? This is an absolutely incredible power-up, and maybe even my favorite here. An excellent way to start us off. Next is the frog suit, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm much more of a hammer suit guy. Still though, this will make water levels a bit less painful, as I do not like them, and the running on water mechanic is kinda neat as well. It's still a nice addition, however, it certainly doesn't add as much to the game as the Super Mario Bros. 2 mushroom. And with its specialty being water, an area of the game I don't find super fun, it's definitely the most mediocre power-up here. However, it's still nice to have. Now this is another one I can get down for. The P-Balloon is really the only other Mario World power-up in that game, so this was the only real choice. However, it's changed a lot it seems. It still makes the player dummy thick and float around, however this time it seems like we might have even more control and it might be a bit faster, which are both great changes. This power-up is quite literally perfect for making a totally air-based level. I feel like this would work incredibly with the don't land clear condition, so you could make a level based entirely around staying in the air. This power-up doesn't seem like it'll work great for traditional levels, however I'm not too upset about that, as this power-up can be great to carry its own level. Imagine an aerial speedrunning level, or maybe a Flappy Bird level with the clear condition, or maybe some sort of underground cave exploration where Mario has to go through it without taking damage. While I don't think this power-up is as good as the Super Mario Bros. 2 mushroom, it's still absolutely incredible and looks like a really fun new tool to make levels that wouldn't be possible without it. Alright, I'm gonna be honest, this one made me the most sad. The acorn is fine and all, but I think most of us, including myself, would have really liked the ice flower instead. The ice flower is such a great and unique power-up. As for the acorn suit itself, it's fine I guess. We already have a flying power-up in this theme though, and the acorn is kinda similar to the cape, so honestly this is a bit of a sad choice. However, it's a pretty good power-up for traditional levels, and there's still a lot of potential with it. I just, wished it was the ice flower. However, I'm still happy it's here, and I guess it does make sense it's here considering it's the main power-up of New Super Mario Bros. U. I guess I should just be happy that the propeller suit was originally chosen over it, as I like the propeller suit much better. Now this next one is a really cool power-up. I always liked the Boomerang flower, so I was definitely wanting this one, and the way it works here is absolutely amazing. For one, it stays in the air and can go down as it stays in the air longer. It also obviously kills enemies as well, which could lead to some interesting ways to defeat some of them. However, where I think this comes in handy the most is how it interacts with the other objects in the style. Like fireballs, they're able to go through clear pipes, which could lead to some interesting situations, like maybe you have to throw a boomerang into a pipe or something, and then you have to try to keep up with it throughout the level so that it can kill an enemy at the end. However, it also doesn't just defeat enemies, but it can activate on-off blocks as well, and presumably other things like question mark blocks and POWs. This could lead to a ton of new possibilities for puzzle and speedrun levels. Like, just imagine a speedrun level where you have to quickly throw boomerangs at just the right height. This could also lead to some interesting bosses with how all of these interact. And I still haven't mentioned that they're also able to pick up coins and keys, which then means we could probably have a section where we have to use a boomerang to try to collect all of those. This power-up could also work as a nicer alternative to the fire flower than the catsuit in traditional levels, as the catsuit generally leads to breaking a lot of levels, so I feel like this would be a lot better. This and the Super Mario Bros. 2 mushroom are both absolutely incredible additions because of how they can interact with their surroundings, and I personally can't wait to see how they're utilized. I'm not quite sure which of the two is my favorite yet, but either way, incredible additions, and I'm so happy they're finally adding some more new power-ups. Yeah, with those 5 power-ups out of the way, we still aren't even technically done, as there are 5 new helmets and hats to wear in the 3D world style, so let's go over them. The cannon looks pretty cool and definitely has some unique things behind it. I can definitely see a lot of levels based around it, however I do have a few questions about it before I get overly hyped, as what they showed makes it seem a little bit too similar to the Chad Boomerang flower. So first off, are we able to wear it with different power-ups? I would assume yes, because it'd be silly if we couldn't. This goes for the other hats as well. What button are the cannon shots mapped to, and does it overlap with, say, fireballs? And finally, do these count as explosions? We see it shoot a big coin and have it explode downward, but does that mean it can also break things? If that's the case, then this will make this hat so much better. I could totally see a level where we would have to use it to destroy things in it. If that's not true, then it's still an alright power-up that can be used well in castle and airship levels, but the boomerang flower would probably be the better option in my opinion in those cases. The charging mechanic, though, looks really interesting and I want to see how people use it. Okay, I just realized that the script is already so long, I'm not even close to halfway, so I'm going to speed through a lot of these. This power-up here, the propeller box, is just alright. It's the most underwhelming of the hats if I'm being honest, but I could see it used in some creative ways. It's a nice tool to make vertical ascension possible in the Super Mario 3D World style, as there wasn't any real flying power-up in there before. Like the last one, this is mostly just okay, but I could definitely see some unique setups using this. Since it is in a radius, maybe you could have a level where you have to carefully and quickly activate a POW in just the right spot so that the player doesn't lose. This one is a pretty specific one though, and I can't really see it being used in traditional levels, but it's still good for puzzles and the like. This Goomba mask is really fun and unique. It's like nothing else in Mario Maker 2, where it allows you to sneak by enemies without them noticing you. This is a really interesting concept, and I can't wait to see stealth levels using it. It's super specific, sure, but it's completely unique and I can't wait to see it. Some questions though. If you hit a Boom Boom or a Dry Bones for Smash, do they then attack you once they get back up? That would make sense, although we haven't seen it yet, so I'm not sure. Our final new one is the Bullet Bill mask, and it also seems like a perfect one for the Don't Land Clear condition. They showed off an application of it in a spike maze, which is pretty neat. However, this probably has the most questions for me out of any of the new boxes and power-ups. How long are we able to fly for? They mention fuel, but they don't show how long it lasts. The longer the better, but maybe you could just reset your fuel by getting caught by a twister or bouncing off an enemy. If you hit a wall, what happens? Do they blow up like in Odyssey? Because if so, that'd be really neat. Finally, are you able to move vertically? I would assume no based on what they showed, however there's a part in the trailer that makes it somewhat implied that they would have to go upwards to get this pink coin. If this is true, or even if it's not, they're both good for their own situations. This is probably my favorite hat, especially considering there wasn't really a flight power-up in this style before this. I know that there was the propeller box, however I definitely like the Bullet Bill mask better, because it's a lot more fun looking. Okay, wow. Never in a million years did I think they would actually add the koopalings, and on top of that, they each have unique attacks. These are going to make boss fights so much more fun and unique, and I can't wait to see how many new types of bosses can be made with these guys, and combining them with different elements. These go really well with the new level worlds as well, which we'll talk about in a little bit, so it's easy to have new bosses. This is going to make boss fights way less stale, and I'm definitely going to try and make a video around these guys. It seems that you'll be able to place all 7 of them at once, which on the one hand is really cool because that means you can make a whole boss rush level. But on the other hand, that means they're more than likely going to get spammed a lot. Quickly, let's just go through each koopaling and their unique mechanic. Lemmy shoots bouncy balls at the player while he's on top of one himself, which I think could lead to some fun challenges where you have to survive on a platform without getting bounced off before a timer expires and you can leave. Larry seems to be the most generic with nothing special, however that's totally okay as sometimes a basic boss is better for a situation than some of these others. Wendy acts similarly to Lemmy with throwing bouncy projectiles, however they behave differently with bouncing up and down the walls. Morton seems to act similarly to SMB3 Bowser where he can ground pound the ground to stun you and shoot a projectile. This is nice to have in all 4 main themes now, but it's also unique because it sends out a shockwave that can damage the player after he lands. I'm really excited to see how the shockwave is used. Roy can dig into the ground and appear from any surface, which is really cool. The surfaces don't even need to be connected. I really want to see some unique boss arenas with him especially. Iggy seems to have nothing new shown off for him, but if I were to guess, he'll either be faster than the other ones or be able to climb up walls. Finally is my homie Ludwig, and he shoots 3 projectiles and has a massive jump. He's pretty vanilla, kinda like Larry, but that's basically just makes him a harder version of him, which I also think is really good to have. Before I end this segment, I do have a few questions though. After they get hit, do they go into their shell like Bowser Jr.? How do they react to certain items like claws or even mushrooms? So many new things have just opened up due to these 7, so I'm really extremely excited to try them out, and I'm actually surprised that they're in all 4 main themes. They're obviously not in 3D World, however that's completely understandable and I'm happy they're here. Okay, now that all the big new course elements are out of the way, let's go through some of the smaller ones. The cursed key looks fun, and it seems like an item to base a whole level around. It's unfortunate it's only in Mario 1, but it still looks like it'll lead to some fun levels. This is definitely one of the more specific ones, and it's going to be hard to work into other levels unless it's a whole main mechanic, but still I think it's a fun addition. I also wonder if Phanto will be able to interact with other items, or if he's just kinda up there and he can't really interact with anything. Okay, next up is the on-off trampoline, and this is the most item in the entire update. It seems okay, I guess, but the real thing here is that they're finally adding dotted line blocks to 3D World. This actually is absolutely huge. This opens up so many new things, and this is one of the most exciting things in the whole update. No longer do we have to come up with weird ways around them. No, they're finally here. They weren't even mentioned in the trailer, which I found really strange for such a big addition. Which may mean that there actually might be a few more things hidden in the update. I'm not getting my hopes up, and I don't think you should either, but even if it's a small thing like items that are missing in 3D World being added there, I'd be happy. But yes, the dotted line blocks here are the real story, and the on-off trampolines are just okay. But the dotted line blocks, oh my goodness, I'm so excited for those. For our final course element are the Mecha Koopas. This is a really nice enemy to finally move into the game. The basic one will be a nice enemy for a lot of different things, and I'm really curious to see how they can function. The other forms look extremely fun as well, with them firing missiles and shooting lasers, which is also extremely interesting. I know I'm not going very in-depth here, but these are some super exciting new enemies that I can't wait to work with. I think they'll work best as basic enemies in traditional airships, which makes me happy that they're here. They also felt like an odd exclusion for the longest time, since they were a big part of Mario World's final Bowser boss, and they're in a ton of airships. I'm just happy they made it nonetheless. Okay, so you know how I said I never expected in 1,000,000 years for them to add the koopalings? I never expected in 1,000,000,000 years they would add a world map maker. This is something pretty much everyone has been wanting since Mario Maker 1 launched, and the fact it's actually here is incredible. It seems like you can have 5 courses per world, and the map is 4 by 6 tiles. And while that may seem small to some of you, this is way better than nothing, and it's more than enough in my opinion to be incredible. The world is also in the Mario World style, which I think looks the best as a map, so I'm very happy they chose that rather than going with Mario 1, which is what they normally do with this game, it seems. There are so many different customization options from how the path moves, how it looks, and even the theme. There are 8 to choose from, and they are all cool, though I do find it strange that you can make a volcano and a space-themed world, but not levels. I'm hoping that maybe they're secretly added in the update, but I'm not holding my breath for that. Not only can you make a world, but also an entire game containing 8 whole worlds, which is something I've wanted since launch. This world map maker is way better than I could have expected, especially considering I didn't even expect there to be any at all. And the fact that you can upload them as well, oh my goodness, this is really the best update to any Mario game. Not Mario Maker, Mario game. I can't wait to spend hours building up my own game. The only questionable thing is the amount of worlds/games you can make. It seems like you may only be able to do 1. While I'd rather be able to make more, I'm okay with that considering we got all of this. This is definitely the best change in the update, and I can't wait to play Mario games made by others. I just love all the customization you can do, even just cosmetically. It's so good, and I can't wait to see what we do. But anyways, that's it for this short. Well, it was supposed to be short, but then I talked a lot. Let me know what your favorite new addition is in the comments. For me, it's between the Boomerang, Flower, koopalings, and world maps. Although the 3D world dotted line blocks are also very exciting. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more on Super Mario Maker 2 and anything else Nintendo Switch. Links to my Twitter, Discord, and Mario Maker ID are in the description. I'll see you guys next time. Wait. No. No, not you. No. I thought I was done with me costumes, please! No more! I just got them all last month, please, I don't want to do it again! No! No!